I'll remind your fans to sign up for the Rod Squad newsletter. It drops every Sunday. It's free, and you can do so at rodpeterson.com. Brought to you by Suds Full Service Car Wash. Fuel your fleet's finesse with Suds Regina's unbeatable cleaning packages. They'll shine like new every time. Visit sudsregina.com. Okay, we got the commissioner with us, Commissioner Mike Kelly. Hey, Coach. Hey, time flies when you and I get together, so I'm going to jump right into it. The NFL
Okay.
Combine is on. Yeah. You got some good Combine stories from years gone by in any variety of league, NFL, CFL, or otherwise?
I first went to the Combine with Cal Murphy, and he knew everybody. So I was his little minion that he was introducing me to and that was a huge benefit for me. But the story that I've got is that when I was actually preparing and representing NFL players, and we had a player that was projected to go in the third round, good defensive interior lineman out of the Southeast Conference, and we were training him in Houston, and the kid would work his tail. He did a great job. And but then as soon as he'd come home, he'd guzzle a bottle of white wine and smoke a joint. And I kept telling him, man, you got to stop doing that. You got to stop. They're going to test you. And he's like, oh, no, man, we pass the tests all the time at such and such a school. And I said, well, this is the NFL. This is a different deal now. And so we get to the Combine. He was projected to be a third-round pick. He had discarded all of our advice about what to do with his money. Give him a bridge loan. Get a car that's going to be sensible for right now. Discarded all of our advice. Went and got a $50,000 loan. Bought a Land Rover that was way out of his wheelhouse. Anyhow, he tests positive, and that was the final straw for me. I was like, I'm done with this. I'm telling guys what they need to do, how to do it, and then they're going to go do their own thing. Well, he ends up being an undrafted free agent, and his signing bonus was $5,000. But now he's settled with a $50,000 loan. He bought this Range Rover that was black that he wrapped in red, that now it looked like a big can of tomato soup. And it was just I couldn't stand the city of it. And it just so happened that the day that he tested positive, and I'm losing my mind, one of my oldest and dearest friends, who was the president at Widener University, called me and said, do you want this head coaching job here? And I said, yes. I got on a plane in Indianapolis, flew to Louisiana, got in a car, and I drove to Philadelphia. And that was the last time I represented players.
Oh, man. Is there a lesson there? And your story's
Yes.
triggered 18 of mine, but you're the guest. I'll tell them later. So, yeah, that's players are going to do what players are going to do. Well, listen, you're here as the commissioner of the Continental Football League. You've had some announcements. Indianapolis got a team. Jerry Glanville has joined the San Antonio Toros franchise. So give me your Continental Football League pitch. What's the latest?
We also put a team in Detroit. We revitalized an original team called the Michigan Arrows, and we hired Steve Kaiser as the head coach. If you look him up, his background's unbelievable. In the NFL a long, long time. Won a Super Bowl ring with the Chicago Bears in 1985. Was the general manager this past year in the UFL for the Michigan Panthers. Coached in the CFL back years and years ago. So he's taken over the Michigan franchise. We got Hal Mummy, the godfather of the air raid offense, if you will. He's going to be the head coach in Indianapolis. And we've got some conversations still going on with another group, but we got about half a dozen groups that are lined up for 2027. So it's fast and furious right now, looking for sponsorships, securing stadiums. So there's an awful lot going on. I'm supposed to be retired. My first Social Security check comes in March, and I'm probably working as much as I ever have. So it's been a really interesting process, though, in terms of the business of sport to actually revitalize the league and get it up and running.
I'm sorry to tell you, Coach, but guys like us, my dad was one of us. He worked in the NHL till he was 76. You're going to go in the grave working. So I'm sorry to tell you, that's what you have to look forward to.
Goody.
Yeah. Our viewers, they're getting into the Continental Football League. I'd like to think I'm pushing them that way. So just back up a little bit and just tell them where they can follow the league.
Okay, we're redoing our website right now. It should be all revamped by March 1st. But they can go to COFLfootball.com, and that'll get you to the main website. and then each team is going to have their own link into their particular club. That's the easiest way to do it. COFL. We can't use CFL, and it's got to be COFL. Football.com. That'll get you to the website.
Okay. Well, BW in Edmonton writes in. He says, "Mr. Commissioner, is there? Hey, by the way, how is that? How is that being a commissioner?"
That's weird. You know what? Yeah, I'm having fun with it, but I always tell people, please just call me Mike. You know, they'll address me as Mr. Commissioner and all that. Mike is good. I'm good with Mike.
Must be nice having this much power, though. But BW says, is there a working agreement to push COFL players to the CFL? And is there going to be games shown online, streaming like YouTube or Rumble? Thanks. Signed, BW.
Yes, we're working out a streaming arrangement right now out of Texas, and then also in the Midwest, because we have teams in Ohio, Indiana, and Michigan. That it will be gone. It'll go to a main server and then dispersed across the country. And we're putting together packages. Do you buy a whole season? Can you buy single games? And that's part of our pitch also with sponsorship, is going into some bars and making sure that they always have our games up. But what I want people to understand is this is the first real attempt at minor league football. I want you to think of AA baseball. Young, hungry guys that haven't really developed yet or had their opportunity to play at the next level. And so we absolutely are here to promote guys to go to the Canadian Football League, to go to the National Football League. These guys are not going to be on contracts. They're going to be on marketing agreements, which is the same as the name, image, and likeness in the NCAA. And over 40% of the kids that go into the transfer portal end up not going anywhere. They lose their scholarship. They don't have a place to play. And so this gives them an opportunity to come play for us, get more film, and you're still eligible to go back to the NCAA and play. So we're really looking to create opportunity for underserved players and underserved communities. We're going into smaller, I know we're saying Detroit and Indianapolis, but we're really out in the outskirts in smaller stadiums, so it's a cozier feeling and really get the fans to know who these players are. So yes, we're thinking ourselves as a minor league that will promote players to the Canadian Football League and the National Football League.
Well, here's another one. You mentioned the people you're getting involved. I got the news release that Jerry Glanville is going to be the defensive coordinator of San Antonio. You got our viewers. As soon as I said his name, our viewers all perked up. They know who he is. So talk about him a little bit. The former head coach of the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, and I was on the phone with him yesterday for an hour. He is an absolute character for his age, but he's a legendary football coach. And he just loves to coach, and he's living in Northwest Ohio right now, which is his hometown, and in his hometown. But he's ready to go down to San Antonio and run the defense down there. And we talked about everything yesterday: X's and O's. He coached with June Jones with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and so there's a lot of synergy here. But the thing that's most gratifying for me, honestly, Rod, is that we've got a vision. We've been able to articulate that vision, and we have people buying into it. And to me, that's what leadership is all about. And to have guys like Jerry Glanville say, yeah, I want to be a part of this, and Steve Kaiser and Hal Mummy, and this is all. It's humbling, but it's pretty impressive also that we're able to attract these kind of people to come revitalize this once legendary league.
Very special. By the way, Arlen Bruce is watching. He writes in, he says, bro, I've heard so many great stories about this man, Mike Kelly, and Cal Murphy. Never met him? Good luck, Commish. You might want to keep your eye on his kid, Arlen Bruce the fourth. Are you still, he's starring in the IFL right now, the Indoor Football League, but are you actively recruiting players, or are the rosters set right now?
Oh, no, we're actively recruiting. Each team will bring 50 players into camp, and then we'll keep 40 for the season. And, as I talk with player personnel people in both the CFL and the NFL, playing indoors, it's a nice thing. You're continuing to play, but it's hard for the outdoor people to really evaluate. You see a linebacker that really seems to be moving well, but then he runs into a wall. Can he really extend himself all the way out to the numbers? You can't tell that. because the guy's playing on a hockey rink. And so it's not a great place to really get seen. Now, obviously, Kurt Warner is the aberration of all of it, but it's not a great place for positional players to get seen because you can't really see what they can do in the open field. In our league, we're going to play on a U.S.-sized field, but we're also going to be playing the fourth quarter with CFL modified rules. So we're going to have motion. We're going to have a yard off the ball. We're going to go to 3 downs. We're going to have the rouge. We're going to move the clock to 20 seconds because I don't want to hear about that 35-second stuff that they're changing now. That's not CFL football to me. We're going 20 seconds, and you're going to go fast, and we're going to get after it. And that's what the fourth quarter will be. We're calling it the continental shift. So guys will be able to be seen in NFL rules and also in CFL rules, and I think it will open up more opportunity for people.
That's amazing. One more Continental Football League question before I turn it over. They have some NFL questions for you, but Carlos in Indianapolis says, I'm cautiously enthusiastic about this league. I hope it doesn't fall apart after a few seasons like so many others. After all, why get overly into something that soon flops? They've had their heart broken, Coach. I get it.
Oh, yeah.
I get it.
And we get the same thing in San Antonio, because they've had so many teams go in and out of there. You can go back to when CFL expanded with the Texans. And, the thing is, we don't have that high overhead that all these other leagues have tried. You have a yearly buy-in that's very, very reasonable. It's only 5 figures. We're not asking people for $1 million so that they're getting themselves so spread that they can't operate. And the other thing, that everybody needs to understand is that if he's worried about the team leaving, buy stock in it. We're selling part of the ownership to fans, just like the Green Bay Packers do, and we're registered with the Security and Stock Exchange, and so that you can actually make money off of buying into the club. So if he's afraid of a team leaving, buy into it. Get your friends to buy into it and actually own part of the team so they don't leave. But we don't have big overhead. We're on 2-3 hour bus rides to our opponent. You play the game, you bus ride home. No flights, no hotels. Our costs are minimal. It's a much more sustainable model than what these other leagues have tried to do, and in trying to mimic themselves after the NFL or the CFL for that matter. We're not doing that. We're minor league baseball. Keep that in mind.
So, as I say, speaking of that, CFL, NFL, viewer Deke Man wants to know your best veteran stadium story in your time with the Eagles.
Oh, well, first of all, there's so many of them. There used to be stuff that leaked out of the walls there that we didn't know what the substance was. It's just leaking out of the walls. We would have meals there, and it had drop ceilings, and we could hear the cats chasing the rats, or vice versa, because they were about the same size. And so you had all this food laid out, and all of a sudden this dust would just fall down out of the ceiling into the food. But in terms of the game, we were getting ready to play the Baltimore Ravens in the preseason. And, the Philadelphia Phillies used to also play in the vet. And the grounds crew didn't prepare the cutouts around the bases properly. They just laid down the carpet like you put on the front porch of your grandma's house. They just laid it over it. And so where everybody's there, the television, the crews are there, everybody's out on the field, and the players are coming out and going, what is this? We're not playing on that, because you actually could just take your foot and move the carpet. So imagine if you're full speed trying to make a cut, and all of a sudden the field comes out from underneath you. And so we had the officials look at it. We had people from the Eagles organization down, the people that ran the vet, and we had to call the game. So people were already coming into the stands. The parking lot, we had tailgate going. The players were dressed, and we had to cancel the game. So that was you don't see that very often.
Oh, my God, that's a last resort for the NFL.
Yeah.
What's worse, Veterans Stadium or Winnipeg Stadium? Canadian Stadium. I hear Bob Irving's voice echoing in my head. Canadian Stadium or Veterans Stadium?
Veterans Stadium, without question. And that play, at one time, obviously in the 80s, that was a model facility. That's what everybody was building. Pittsburgh had it, Cincinnati had it. It was a cookie cutter type deal. But you're never, ever, ever going to get me to say anything bad about the old stadium in Winnipeg. That's just not going to happen. That's, to me,
Okay.
that's my home.
How about Rider fans then? Who is harsher, Eagles fans or Rider fans?
In terms of harshness, they're pretty equal. In terms of nastiness, I got to go with Philadelphia. And it's just, but the atmosphere in Regina is just so awesome. I just never forget it. I love the rivalry. And honestly, even when we had teams that were 14-4, 13-5 in Winnipeg, we never played well there. Never, ever. And we probably had a losing record in Regina. But the fans were so passionate, but they weren't over the top. They weren't abusive. They were just harsh, and they were supporting their team. In Philadelphia, I'm with the Redskins, and I'm telling Coach Spurrier, look, this is different. You're going to have a silent cadence. You're going to have to go fast. And he's like, oh, Mike, we've been in, we were in Death Valley, and we've been in the pit. And, it just starts saying, I'm saying, Coach, I'm telling you, this is different. So the day we're driving in, we spent the night in downtown Philadelphia. We're on the bus coming into the new stadium, into the Link. And as we're pulling in, there's thousands of fans that are already there tailgating, and they're running towards the bus with their middle fingers up, and the fathers are signaling their sons, come on, son, and they got their middle fingers up. And I'm sitting right behind Coach Spurrier, and he's like, well, I'll be damned. And I said, well, Coach, I told you this is going to be a different place. And so we go and we play the game, and the Eagles absolutely hand us our hat. And after the game, the owner and Spurrier, they're all just like, what happened? And I'm shaking my head. I told you what this was going to be like. But they thought that they knew better. So, but yeah, I'm going to go with harshness equal, nastiness, Philadelphia.
We have a minute left. Rich in Edmonton writes in. He says, I'm sorry I missed the start of the interview. Where is Coach Kelly? It looks like South Florida. I need to go back there. Tell the folks.
I am sitting on the very southern tip of Hutchinson Island in southeast Florida. It takes about maybe a half hour to 40 minutes to get to West Palm Beach Airport. And I've been living down here for almost 7 years now. My mom's been here since 1996. And it's just an absolute beautiful part of the world. You're not going to get me out of here. It's 27 here today, Celsius. And I just got back on Monday from Calgary, and I was just I was shaking just from the house to the airport. I was like, I got to get back to Florida.
You understand what I'm saying when I say it looks beautiful, but we got alligators, we got mosquitoes the size of pterodactyls, man. You don't want to come here. Just leave it.
Nobody come here. This is horrible. Don't come here. No.
Mike and I got it handled. Okay, we'll just do our thing. Okay,
we'll
Coach.
Suffer.
Yeah, great job. Keep in touch. Whatever you need, let me know.
All right. Enjoy your interview with Coach Glanville whenever you get that situated.
We'll get it done.
Right.
I cannot wait. Commissioner, thank you.
Right.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks,
Commissioner Mike
Take care.
Kelly.
Bye-bye.
Same to you. Continental Football League Commissioner, Coach Mike Kelly. You always be coach to me. We'll be right back on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network and Game Plus TV.